Hello and welcome to the Swine Brothers Show, episode 118, I think, for the 18th of October, 2016. A lot of 18s there. You can email us at either ellindemood@gmail.com or our new one at cosmicgodsdie@gmail.com. Facebook is still Swine Brothers and Twitter, as always, is SwineBros666. I am your host for the evening, Ellie Lindemood, and my co-host Sar.
I am the Jim. I defecate on the universe.
And
That's all.
post anti-PETA memes on Facebook.
Yeah, it was just one I really liked.
Yes, I did too.
And
That's
who
the
else?
that's the first cigarette of the day. We're keeping counts this time.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to make a little tally in the sidebar. So that's one. Okay. And
We're going to say exactly why my voice is so beautiful.
we're already gone off the rails. Introduce yourself, Charles.
I'm the Chaswold, and Jim smokes so many cigarettes, Pikeys thinks someone's tarmacked his throat.
Good.
And that's Jim's friend over there.
Oh, friends!
Who?
Yeah,
wants to-
friend. With quotation marks around.
Friends!
Well, I don't think Jim really has friends if he considers me one of his friends.
Have you watched The In-Betweeners yet, Elliot?
I have.
You, apart from that one episode that we watched, have you watched any
No,
more?
No, I've been busy watching Top Gear. You know that.
You've got to watch The In-Betweeners, because then you'll get the Friends reference.
All right, I will after the I'm on season 4 of 22. Anyway, today on the show we have politics, we have some other stuff, and we also have music. And Jim, why don't you take us away with the music? Nice classical music right here.
Mm-hmm. Varg Vikernes says the Norwegian black metal scene from 91 to 93 was putrid shit to the core.
Now, keep in mind, this is the same guy who, if you don't know who Varg Vikernes is, he played in Burzum. Well, he is Burzum. He played on the first Mayhem album, and he played on the Old Funeral EP, Devoured Carcass, which Jim really likes. It's kind of a more death metal. Anyway, he says this, and yet he won't stop talking about how great the early Norwegian black metal scene is. So this is by Metal Sucks. So why does Mr. Varg Vikernes hate the black metal scene so much?
Looks like old Varg has realized the drawing power of talking about his past.
Yes.
Including the video he recently posted in which he calls Euronymous a pussy, a poser, envious of Vikernes, and a horrible business person. He's been spending a whole lot of time on his YouTube channel lately talking about black metal related topics.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of his videos are really good. I didn't really like the one about Satanism because he seems to confuse it with the Church of Satan. But well, of course, if you don't know, Euronymous was the guy that Varg killed in August '93.
Yeah. He also talks about RPG gaming and all frequent topics in the past.
Yes, and white genocide, because apparently he's the savior of Europe. Euronymous was a horrible business person. He was a fan of the music. He wasn't cut out to be a businessman. As far as a pussy and a poser, I don't know. I've heard conjecturing claims, but the fact is now he's conflicting and whatever. But now it remained. Varg later murdered Euronymous, and it's really interesting if you hear the first album, Varg's of Mayhem. Varg's on bass and Euronymous is on guitar, so you get to hear the murderer and the victim.
Yay. In another recent video, Varg, ever the classy gentleman, has more nice things to say about the man he stabbed in the back 16 times.
He didn't just stab him in the back, he stabbed him in the chest and the head, too.
Yeah. That Euronymous, in his ongoing efforts to push the bar of extremity, misled, manipulated, and purposefully attempted to sabotage the careers of other black metal bands, such as Emperor, Enslaved, and Darkthrone, so that Mayhem could be the most successful.
I don't really think they care. Emperor, Enslaved, and Darkthrone are three of the hugest band names. I think Euronymous wanted Mayhem to be the most extreme band. Vikernes said that the one reason why he was on bass was because Burzum was considered the most extreme band. And for Mayhem to be the most extreme, they had to have the guy in the most extreme band. I don't know if that's true or not. Vikernes has been guilty of historical revisionism, such as claiming that no one listened to Venom, when in fact Fenriz apparently did like Venom a great deal, so take this all with a grain of salt. And I know Jim doesn't really know about this, but I am a black metal student of history. I've read many books on the subject.
Good. Then Varg positions himself as above it all, and in a miraculously truth-avoiding pivot at the end of the video that even Donald Trump would envy, he manages to sneak in a plug for his own blatantly racist and misogynistic role-playing game.
Which we still have to play.
I still have to give it a look, yes.
Oh yeah, we have to play that. I don't know if it's racist and misogynistic, but we'll find out.
Yeah, we gotta figure that out.
Well, it wouldn't really surprise me if it was, because I've heard Vikernes' comments on...
Well,
everything.
Racist I can definitely see. But then again, the core game is pretty much racist. I mean, fuck. Elves. Fucking elves. Every single fucking sub-race of them is, like, racist. They believe themselves above everything.
Are you talking about the D&D, just the generic?
D&D, Pathfinder, the generic kind. Not the kind I'm creating, which are going to be even more twisted and evil.
Well, yeah, elves are pricks. Just take it from me. Elves are pricks.
Even the cool ones like Drow are pricks.
Yeah, well, especially the ones that stab you in the back and try to frame you and then run away.
Yes.
They're not as cool as the Water Brood.
No, they are not. Okay.
So yeah, it's just kind of a funny. If he's above it all, why does he keep talking about it? But I like Vikernes' videos, and I like the black metal scene. I wouldn't take his word completely on everything, but whatever. He does what he does, and I watch it. So subscribe to his YouTube channel. I mean, I pretty much just ignore his, tinfoil hat ranting videos and just kind of watch the music ones, and
Oh, well, onward to the next topic here.
Onward and downward.
Uh-huh. Hundreds walk out as Amy Schumer gets political.
Now, Jim doesn't remember who Amy Schumer is. I've seen some ads with her in them, and she's not funny.
No,
Chaz,
she's not.
She's an ugly, unfunny woman who she just kind of goes around and sort of says things about her vagina, and somehow that's comedy.
So basically you, Chaz?
Yes. Good one, Elliot. Nice try.
But yeah, we've pretty much agreed that she's
Don't
not
give up
funny.
the day job.
I have no day job. This is my day job.
Pick a different career then.
Jim.
Okay, can fans love a comedian but hate their politics? Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of bands that I fucking love but hate their fucking politics.
Welcome to Dr.
I think with comedy, it can sometimes be a slightly more difficult thing, because with comedy, a lot of it is based in sort of politics, especially from seeing it from a particular aspect. So if you are not the same as that person in the political spectrum, you may not see the situation the way they do.
Well, and with music, you have more to distract you. You have the beats, you have the solos, you have the riffs and things.
I'm saying it's possible. I'm not saying that it's going to always fly.
Well, I mean, I have comedians I respect, even though I don't really like their delivery and stuff is good, even though But yeah, it's never really happened for me. Usually they're misanthropic enough that we pretty much agree on politics.
Anyways, some members of Amy Schumer's audience seem to think so this weekend. Around 200 people walked out of her Tampa show when Schumer launched into a withering takedown of Donald Trump.
Now, my question is, she's the equal pay girl, right? She was on those Miller Lite ads or some crappy light beer that. Yeah, I saw it once, and I was just like, okay, you if you're at her show, I think you kind of know what you're gonna get. You're not gonna get. It's not like I don't even know it. You're at your show. You're at her show. You know what you're gonna get. So why are you surprised? And by the way, if the only advocates for equal pay or whatever are sponsored by some crappy American light beer, that's not good.
Well, I think it's a sign of the American light beers trying to go for this new hipster millennial SJW culture that they think is the most prevalent and the most popular opinion. You know, just like we saw with Sony and Ghostbusters.
Well, remember beer ads used to be. Well, you don't, Chaz, but I'm sure the two Americans do. Remember beer ads used to be some, deep-voiced kind of Southern guy talking about Busch beer. Kind of rugged, and it was always funny to me because the shit.
Oh no, I remember the sort of beer ads from the 80s.
The 80s and 90s, the kind of rugged, drink.
Because we used to get some American ads over here.
What's that, Jim?
See, what I did was I just pissed in the damn fucking distillery. That increased the alcohol by 30%. You're getting yourself a cool drink breeze straight from my balls.
Yeah,
I remember when beer adverts used to be fun. Like, you used to have the Real Men of Genius Budweiser adverts. This Bud Light's for you, Mr. Foot-long hot dog maker.
Fucking Budweiser's a headache in a can. But anyway, my point is, now it's I'm up for whatever. Now it's they're trying to market to the millennials, and really I think the product fits the clientele. Really, I mean I can't drink light beer. Anyway, Jim.
Tampa Bay Times reports that some fans booed or walked out after Schumer called Trump an orange sexual assaulting fake college starting monster. That's
really as best as you. That's really the best you've got.
That's
a D-.
That's pathetic. That's like what everyone is saying. You're just parroting the same phrase.
Well, Amy Schumer, I do believe, has had some plagiarism problems in the past. I do remember not too long ago there was a whole thing of a load of comedians sort of like going, you're just like Dane Cook, you steal jokes of other people.
But this is shit I've seen, like...
Yeah. Well,
this is an exact quote from various fucking late-night fucking...
Well, yeah. There's a girl that my dad likes.
Shows.
There's a girl that my Samantha something or other. She has an annoying fucking voice. And that's all she says is basically... Like, my dad watches, like, the late-night television. Like, not... But on the internet, and I'm sometimes there, and I see Colbert, I see Samantha, whatever the hell her name is, or I see, and it's all the same thing. Oh my God, Trump. It's because Trump is easy to make fun of. Trump, you don't even need talent to make fun of Trump. He does it himself. So I actually sent a message to Stephen Colbert's Facebook. I said, make fun of Hillary. Make fun of Hillary Clinton. Because she's the one I'm really afraid of. I mean, I'm afraid of Trump's friends, his political cabinet, and his fans, but I'm not afraid of Trump himself. But yes, Amy Schumer is a late night style comedian, and oh God, Chaz, don't get me started on Dane Cook. We'll be here for hours.
Yeah, like I said, this is an exact quote I've heard from just about every late night show ever, so this is beyond plagiarism. It's just fucking brain dead parroting.
Yeah,
I did find I can't remember which late night host. I think it might have been Colbert. Did the Trumpa-Lumpers. That made me chuckle a little bit.
yeah. And the Saturday Night Live thing, of course, parodies him, and like I said, it's at least Newsoid makes fun of Hillary Clinton as well.
Oh yeah, not nearly as much as they could do though.
No,
but I think they don't think that the British audience will really know or care much about who Hillary Clinton is.
No, well, they make fun of Jeremy Corbyn a lot. Which there's some things I'm conflicted about Jeremy Corbyn because as much as I agree with some of his politics, he's part of the whole, anti-car crusade.
Not that much, though. He's not as bad with it.
So he's not a Livingston or a Prescott or a Darling and Ladyman. Don't you love that the transport secretaries about 2004 were named Alistair Darling and Ladyman?
I can tell you something. Stephen Ladyman was the MP of Ramsgate when I used to live there. And, I've actually spoken to Dr. Stephen Ladyman, and I did have a good old chuckle at his fucking name.
Well, yes, but see, the thing is he was partnered with Darling.
I know, Alistair Darling. He's a
Darling
fucking weird-looking one.
Yes.
Because I'm sure, didn't Alistair Darling, wasn't he the treasurer when Blair left and Thingy moved up? I'm sure, didn't he become? Yeah, he was. He was executor of the treasury. He was sort of like the second in charge.
As long as he gets away from cars. Anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to Corbyn, the Corbyn thing, because I have some thoughts on the whole British anti-car wars. Anyway, Jim.
It's somewhat of a surprise that fans were caught off guard because Schumer isn't known for suppressing her political views.
When her political views are known by everyone.
Okay. In fact, she has been very vocal about her opinions in the past. She's advocated for Hillary Clinton on various talk show appearances. Okay, well, I already won't like her comedy then.
No, if you advocating for Hillary Clinton is
A comedian advocating for any political candidate is doomed, in my opinion, because they're not capable of seeing the bad.
Well, that's what George Carlin said, isn't it? But basically, he doesn't give a shit how it all turns out. He basically just wants to point out how things are and laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like Carlin and Stanhope, because I haven't heard Stanhope advocate for anyone. He just likes to point out how things are and just laugh their, decaying. Those are the comedians I like. I don't really like the comedians with some sort of ideological. I mean, some of them can be funny, but it as George Carlin said, it limits what they say because they're rooting for a particular outcome. I'm not rooting for a particular outcome. I don't care if Trump or Clinton wins. It's going to be shit either way, so I'm going to choose both sides and point and laugh at them.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't point and laugh at the ones I'm voting for. Fuck. They're idiots, too.
Because I think they're unworkable. And he probably point at whoever I'm voting for because whatever.
Don't care. It's all fun.
I'm an atrocity vendor, a fucking equal opportunity offender. That's some poetry from Slayer right there.
Good. She's also pushed for gun control and even features a call out in the back of her new book informing readers how they can take action on the issue. That's all without mentioning the various sketches on her show that make her political standing crystal clear.
She has a shelf. That explains a lot.
I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't know that either, but now that because they won't give anyone good a show. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. They haven't for some time.
They haven't. Other than specials, they haven't ever. Charlie Brooker was the last one. He seems to have disappeared off the face of the earth.
I think he doesn't really do much these days. I think he still writes for The Guardian or something like that. I think he has a column in The Guardian that he writes.
Which is
But
good
he
because he's
just
kind of the voice of reason.
well, he generally comes out of the woodwork now when it's to make things like the yearly wipe, and some occasionally at the beginning of the year he might do a series of screen wipe. But I think he's generally only sort of working at Christmas time.
He's also doing his own shows, Black Mirror and stuff behind the scenes too.
Yeah, he's mainly sort of doing. Well, I mean, he doesn't really have to work much on anything like Black Mirror or anything like that at the moment. There's the new series which is coming, but there's also the American series. I don't think it actually has to do much to do with it, apart from sort of the writing and some and basic credits. I think he makes money without actually having to work most of the time these days.
See, I don't know. I'll ask him on Twitter. But Charlie, we need you. We need you here, please.
Anyways,
that's 2, isn't it?
no, because I rolled one that no one else counted.
Oh, okay.
But the Tampa audience, some were more than surprised. They were offended and took to Twitter to voice their disagreement. Okay, so she's got a show where you know she's going to have this slant. Why the fuck are you watching this show enough to be that much of a fan that you would go to this show and somehow not expect her to express the views that she would have on her show?
It's Florida, Jim. Do you really expect me to understand Florida?
I'd actually give a different reason for it. I think it might have something to do with the fact that the mainstream media is engaged in this great system of gaslighting. 90% of what you're getting from the newspapers is bullshit, and you can tell it's bullshit. There's this little part in the back of your brain that goes, do you know what? There is something about this that just isn't right. Almost like, you know, if you've forgotten something, you maybe left the oven on or the iron on or something like that. There's something in the back of your brain. You know you've forgotten something important. And that you're constantly kept in this sort of state by the media. And so when you keep on hearing all of this same sort of narrative, it becomes kind of almost intolerable. And we are just being pushed into these silly fucking dichotomous reactionary positions. It's all just to keep us divided so that little oligarchical establishment can maintain its power.
Speaking of oligarchical establishments, which we're not, but Chaz, might be a good time to check the chat.
There's no one there. It's just me.
Okay, just making sure. Because we really want to turn the chat if any of you want to say anything or not.
People probably aren't looking out for it because it's a different day today.
Well, people are probably just scared. They think we're going to murder the babies.
An audience of thousands.
I might.
Good, murder people.
Well, babies.
Oh, well, okay, you murder the adults, I'll murder the babies.
Oh, come on, I got the water brewed. That's my job.
The babies.
Okay, fine.
Babies.
Oops. Accidentally added YouTube. I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Anyway, Jim, continue.
Out of an audience of thousands of fans, a vast majority stuck with the show. And a lot of them did speak up in recognition of their ideals. Okay, don't care. More and more tweets, so tweets are news.
Yes, well, nowadays, all we're going to get from news, in a couple of years, all we're going to get is from news. We don't know what the news are. Let's just check Twitter.
In a statement to Vanity Fair, Ms. Schumer wrote, "I loved the crowd at my show in Tampa last night. I want to thank the 8,400 people who stayed. We had a great time. We have always depended on comedians to make us laugh and tell the truth. I am proud to continue that tradition." Oh, God.
I don't think you're telling much of the truth.
Yeah, I don't think the truth is there. Or at least as much as she'd like to claim it is. Oh, fuck.
Truth.
All right. We have the PMQ's recap. Jeremy Corbyn and Theresa May face off for the first time since party conference.
Yep.
Freaking do.
I have to kind of explain this for anybody who does watch, because there'll be a lot of people from around the world, typically sort of like American audiences who may not know. Prime Minister's questions is pretty much a chance for the opposition to really drill the Prime Minister, i.e. the leader of the established party, in Parliament, which is always recorded. It would be the same as if, for instance, you had, say, I don't know, a situation where if we imagine Hillary as president, once a week, Trump in front of, I don't know, say Congress or the Senate or something, while it's being recorded and readily available, gets to ask Hillary questions about any subject.
Don't get so excited, people. It's basically just a big shouting match. I've seen it.
Oh, but come on, our Parliament is so much more fun than yours.
Yeah, but come on, it is kind of.
What did Robin Williams describe it as? I think he described it as Congress with a 2-drink minimum.
I don't know what Robin Williams described it as.
Oh, that would be nice if everyone was completely hammered. Oh, fucking stop! You're in the car.
Half of them are asleep. That's the funny thing. It's a room full of shouty people with lots of people just asleep in chairs. And George Osborne high off his face on cocaine, allegedly.
And then
obviously. Sorry, I said allegedly, and I meant obviously.
And then someone comes in and, what we need to do is we need more speed cameras. We need more
speed. Certainly. We'll slash the NHS budget and we'll slash this. If George Osborne will give you anything, it's definitely more speed.
No. I said speed cameras because I have to eliminate.
Why do you want cameras around when you're doing speed?
The amount of journeys that people use by car because we're fucking stupid. I love whenever Ken Livingstone did his whole congestion charge thing, and of course what they don't get is the reason that the streets are congested is that's when things like school and work start. You know.
Well, it's not just that. London has a lot of congestion because of London was built largely hundreds of years before the motor car was even thought of. And when Hitler did his best to try and help London out by demolishing some of it so we could build it newer and better, kind of like what happened with Manchester and the IRA in the 80s, we spat in Hitler's face and put it back brick by brick.
But
that's
still,
a standard joke.
But still, like I said, people like, well, you know, you should. It's like, what? Are we're going to drop people off at school the previous night? Anyway, Jim Reed, whatever.
It's been 3 weeks since Corbyn and May have faced each other across the Commons, and they had plenty to talk about. She's buckled under new pressure for a vote before she triggers Article 50, and Labour came out this morning with 170 questions they want her to answer.
Article 50, really quickly. Give us a brief explanation of Article 50.
Article 50 refers to the treaty that effectively was our agreement to enter the European Union. Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty essentially is the kind of termination clause to the contract. It's basically, if we quote unquote trigger Article 50, really what we're doing is we're essentially giving our notice of cancellation.
And if he does that, then I know Scotland will trigger an independence vote again. And,
yes, and I kind of agree with them on this because of a lot of the same rhetoric is being used from Brexit. If you listen to any Brexiters and there's any idea of a second referendum because of the huge amount of lying and defrauding of the electorate that went on to secure the Brexit victory,
which there will be a referendum.
The 6% of leavers who have already registered the fact that they regret having voted the way that they did. A lot of people voted simply because they didn't think it would win, but they just wanted to vote for the kind of the crazy idea. It's like if a lot of people in America went, you know what, we're just going to vote for Trump. He won't win, but we're just going to vote for him.
We're going to vote for David Duke.
There we go.
So make no mistake, there will be another referendum. But so anyway, Scotland says, if you do this, we'll leave. And so goodbye, United Kingdom.
Well, when they had an independence referendum, they had an independence referendum the other year, and they chose to stay. And part of the agreement to stay was that Britain remained part of the single market.
I know. I was there. Well, I wasn't there, but So
technically, it's in the rules that they can trigger another referendum if we leave.
Yeah, but then say goodbye to your whole United Kingdom, glorious British Empire, and all that good shit.
Oh, the glorious British Empire has been gone for ages.
I know. I'm trying to put it in, but I'm trying to make it all sound historical and shit. Jim, continue.
She also refused to back a no-fly zone amid unfolding crisis in Syria, which triggered a powerful debate in the Commons last night.
Why don't just nuke the Middle East? Fuck it.
Bring back the bomb, baby.
Fuck the Middle East. There's too many problems. They just get in the way. We can sure live without them.
Mr. Corbyn turned his fire on Miss May over Brexit and her plans for foreign worker limits, which she has brazenly claimed had never been announced. She faced Arabs from the SNP's Angus Robertson over her heated vans telling her illegal immigrants to get out of Britain, and squirmed over her betrayal of British steel.
That's a Scottish name, Angus Robertson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Angus Robertson. Lady.
You should see what he looks like, weird-looking fucker. I swear, there's one thing that seems to unite all politicians. They all are a bit weird-looking, and I can understand why people like David Icke might think they're reptilians in suits. Because, I mean, Corbyn doesn't look quite right. The thing, and that one, Robin Cook, he was another one. Just looked a bit weird. They'll do. Just go and have a look. Just go and have a look at the Houses of Parliament right now. Just go and have a look at every single MP in the Houses of Parliament.
Are you saying Jim should be a politician?
No, Jim isn't quite weird looking enough. You have to look like almost like you're wearing the skin of a human being that doesn't quite fit you right.
So Ed Miliband.
Yeah, look at that fucking doofus.
At least he tried.
I know, right?
Anyway,
the rest of this is going blow by blow, and it's very lengthy.
He was wearing the wrong trousers.
We'll share the full. You can read it in full.
A bunch of tweets, gremlins, and fucking, like you said, weird-looking fucking people. God.
Are they weird-looking?
Yes, very. But at least some of them look like they're trying to stay awake but can't.
Yep.
Even when they're at the podium talking. What the fuck?
That's awesome. They're over at the podium going,
there used to be a guy. If you ever want to look up like the greatest people in British politics, there's one guy called I'm sure his name was Dennis Skinner, and he was a Labour MP, I think, for sort of Yorkshire or Leeds or something like that, up that way. Mm-hmm. And he would. How Parliament starts is there's this tradition where this guy called Black Rod comes up to comes up to the door, and you should see what he's wearing. He's dressed like he's out of Pride and Prejudice, pretty much. Right? And he goes up to the door, yeah, and they close the door on him, and then he bangs on the door 3 times and demands to be let in. And he's the sort of like, best way I can describe it, he's sort of like the Queen's representative to the House. And he obviously calls in the senior people to speak to the Queen, and obviously she opens Parliament.
That's a bit of an odd way to start,
I know, right?
but it's a more interesting ceremony than us, where it's, all right, I'm still drunk from the night before. So we're going to talk about nuking, where are we going to nuke this time?
I don't know.
But you can read the full thing in the video on the YouTube. We'll post the link.
Yep, we'll get to that.
The video.
Anyways, we have a fucking nice little rumor here that Newsweek proves that WikiLeaks is leaking phony Hillary Clinton emails.
Ooh, is this an expose, Jim?
Sort of. And the whole entire thing is false.
Thank you, Snopes.
On October 10th, 2016, the Hillary Clinton shill site, Daily Newsbin, published an article claiming that Newsweek magazine uncovered absolute proof WikiLeaks had published fabricated emails in their October 26 Podesta emails archive, maintaining that journalist Kurt Eichwood had determined many of those documents were phony.
And right, Daily Newsbin. People, I find it interesting when people will share links from websites on Facebook without looking at that it's called the Trump Tribune or Daily News, basically sites I've never heard of. I mean, how many times have I called you out on sharing something from the Daily Stormer?
That only happened once.
I know, but you know you're never going to live it down.
Yes, but like I said, that only happened once.
If you don't know what we're talking about, I was saying something and he shared a link. It was from the Daily Stormer, which that's Stormfront's news organ.
Yeah.
But no, but how many times have I called you or Scott or that Mikey guy out and basically said, look, I don't trust this site?
Yes, there have been times where I've looked up things to say, see, this is legit. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yes, and I've done that too. But at the same time, you've also read joke articles here that I've had to debunk.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to. It was just. It just astounds me that people will post things with no comment, but without looking first, making sure they're not. Anyway.
Oh, fuck. The one thing this is here debunking is actually a response I posted to someone that posted something from a site that claimed that marijuana was a medical cure-all, that, like, some guy miraculously had, like, terminal cancer in the end stages and then just walked out of hospice the next day after smoking pot once.
Dude, that's, like, awesome.
Yeah.
Too bad it's not real, but,
Yeah.
You know what cures cancer? The water brood. Make them undead.
Yes. That way they're nothing but cancer, so there's nothing to cure.
Agreed.
The article was based on a October 10th, 2016 piece penned by Eichwood that went viral and has since been significantly edited.
That's awesome. We're gonna basically airbrush out or Photoshop our mistakes.
Daily Newsbin asserted that Eichwald proved the inauthenticity of the Podesta emails in his article. But what his piece actually claimed was that Russian news outlet Sputnik had misrepresented the content of the leaked email, and that Donald Trump's repetition of the misreporting proved that he was sourcing information fed to him by Russian propaganda outlets attempting to manipulate the 2016 election in Trump's favor.
I don't know. See, okay, here's the thing. Everyone wants the Donald Trump Russia thing. I don't think it was Russian but I don't think it was because he was being fed information. I think it's because people will look for any information that supports their claim. And if the only thing that supports their claim is a shit Russian news site, then fine. Then they'll use it, even if it misrepresents. People will look. Trump will look for anything that will back his claims up. Why do you think he's retweeted neo Nazis before?
Mm. When Ike Wald wrote was that a leaked email showed that Clinton confidant Sidney something or other had forwarded Clinton campaign manager John Podesta a lengthy article he had written, but the Russian news outlet Sputnik misreported the nature of the email and claimed that the guy himself had penned the material he forwarded to Podesta.
Mm.
In other words, Sputnik falsely made it sound as if Hillary Clinton, a Hillary Clinton insider, rather than a Newsweek reporter, had opined that the attack on the U.S. diplomatic compound in Benghazi was preventable and that it was legitimate for Congress to investigate Hillary Clinton's role in the tragedy.
So basically, they tried to make it sound like Hillary was actually admitting, good job. And by the way, Benghazi happened years ago, and we're still talking about it.
Yeah, but it does speak volumes as to our international policy. Fuck it, let our own people die. Don't care. Need money.
Okay. I mean, what? Welcome to America.
Unfortunately, some of Ike Wald's phrasing made it sound as though he were claiming that the Russians had altered or fabricated the content of emails published by WikiLeaks, rather than that a Russian news outlet had simply misinterpreted what was real leaked email actually contained.
I don't care. I'm Russian. Fuck you, Americans. I drink vodka.
Ike Wald explained at length that he believed that the altered document purportedly used by Sputnik was part of a disinformation campaign being waged by Russia against Hillary Clinton.
I don't think it was that. You've never heard of news sites misrepresenting things?
And making mistakes? Oh, God.
Well,
this could go either way.
Yeah, making mistakes or just misrepresenting it to get higher rating, to get higher viewership or higher ratings or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, take off the tinfoil hat. You might learn something.
There's a reason why we trust our fucking news outlets here in America less than we do our Congress, which we trust less than a cocaine dealer on a street corner.
I trust cocaine dealers on the street corners. They're pretty nice.
Yeah, some are pretty nice. I trust them far more than I would fucking Congress.
And you trust Congress more than you trust the news media.
News, yeah. Adding to the confusion was that Ike Wood's account was itself not without error, particularly his claim that events proved Trump campaign was picking up disinformation from Russian sources for the GOP candidate to use against Clinton. So, in other words, everyone's a piece of shit in this. But the emails are real.
No one is innocent. Yes, the emails are real. I've seen that many times before, where they say because people don't like the truth.
Oh, fucking shit! I got a fucking spat with my aunt because I was talking about shit that was provided in these emails. She's like, "Well, let me guess, you got that from that damn internet, and you're gonna believe anything you see off there?" Well, no, I'm not gonna believe everything I see off there, but there are people actually working to fucking provide transparency to shit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there are people looking to provide transparency, but the fact that they attack both sides makes them enemies, and then friends, and then enemies.
Yes.
Where's Chaz?
I do not know.
I'm here.
Oh, you were so quiet.
Sorry, I was muted. I didn't realize I hadn't unmuted myself.
You were like, wow, they're really interrupting me whenever I tried to make a point. We didn't realize you actually not muted. We just don't like you.
It's Danamon that left. She
Yeah, I
said
know.
she'll be back.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. And by the way, we're up to 4 cigarettes, I believe.
Yeah, I believe we're up to 4.
Trees are dying, so you can do this, Jim.
Yes, I know. Anyways, next article is man fatally shot by officer near homeless camp cleanup.
Whoops.
Well, it wouldn't be trees, it would be plants. Because there'd be maybe, I don't know, cotton comes from, I believe, a plant to make the filter. Hemp would probably be used to make the paper. And then you got the tobacco plant. So no trees are being harmed.
I don't think they use hemp in America, though. That's the problem.
I think they still use hemp for papers out there.
No, they don't. They use fucking trees and shit. Yeah, you're not allowed to use hemp as paper.
Anyways, a Seattle police officer shot and killed a man involved in a knife fight Tuesday as officials were working to clean out a homeless encampment known as the Jungle.
It sounds like a jungle if there's a knife fight.
Seattle Police Chief Catherine O'Toole said 2 longtime police officers
Catherine O'Toole. Stop for a sec. Doesn't that sound like a Bond girl or something?
Yeah, it does. Well, it's Kathleen O'Toole, sorry. But still, it does. Said 2 longtime police officers participating in the sweep saw 2 men in an altercation, and one appeared to have a knife. In the process, one of the officers discharged a weapon, and one of the suspects was injured.
Discharged the weapon. I just have had. It sounds so nice. Discharged weapon. Not press the trigger, and a bullet came coming out at 300 miles an hour into the guy's skull, tearing it to shreds.
She said the officers weren't trying to remove people from the area as part of the sweep, and said it was a coincidence that police officers observed the fight. The officers were trying to separate the individuals before firing at the man with the knife, according to police.
They weren't trying to remove people because homeless aren't people, you know.
Yeah, the homeless aren't people. We know this. Fuck these people. The man shot was critically injured and died later Tuesday at Harborview Medical Center. The other man involved in the fight suffered a wound to the hand that apparently came from the knife, O'Toole said. A Harborview Medical Center spokeswoman said he was there in satisfactory condition.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just got him busting my hand. The other guy's dead, so fuck him.
Yeah, he's gone. Don't care.
Authorities,
including the Justice Department, are a team of probes.
a team of probes.
Yeah, a team of probes that use force by police
a team of
are
probes
investigating.
That use force.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but a team of probes that use force.
Mm-hmm. Up the rectal orifice they go.
Yes, by the way, the worst name for a car ever would be the Ford Probe. Anyway.
Police have not released further details, including the identities of the men wounded or of the police officers involved in the incident. The officer who opened fire will be placed on paid administrative leave during the investigation.
Isn't that great? You get paid, and then you get paid to basically sit at home and do nothing.
Yeah, I wish I could get paid to sit at home and do nothing.
I'm telling you, we need to fucking meet in person and figure this shit out. And actually
sell
have
drugs.
Yes. Or sit down and actually see how we can promote this show.
Yeah. State and local officials have been working on addressing the needs of the people living in the unsanctioned campus in a green belt that runs along the interstate in the South Seattle for months. The plan to clear out the area comes after a January shooting at the camp left 2 people dead and 3 wounded.
That's always fun.
So yay, people going homeless hunting. Fuck these people.
Yep.
At the same time, today's operation in the Green Belt was needed both because of the long history of public safety issues in the area. Who the fuck is that?
That's not me.
Chaz?
Sorry.
Charles. No. Bad boy.
Uh,
Well, there's a place really quick by our house called The Wash, and there's homeless, but they're not. They're basically people who just don't really care about working, so they basically just camp out and, you know,
yay.
basically give everyone a bad name. I know people here want to clear it out. I don't care because I don't really consider this my home, so.
Yay. You don't consider home home.
Well, fuck. It's Southern California. Freaking shithole.
Alright, more cops. Huh?
More cops. Here we go.
I'm the law today, nigga. Pennsylvania cop fired over Snapchat selfie racial slur.
I think that we should change the title of the show to that. I think we should change the title of the show to that.
Yeah.
Jim, you do that later. Anyway.
Do you know what, right? It was stupid for her to post this, yeah? And what she should have said is, oh, I was doing my impression of a racist Judge Dredd.
But then it'd be the raw.
Someone make a racist Judge Dredd, please. Because that's just... That would be the most awesome thing I've ever seen. A Nazi Judge Dredd.
Oh, fuck, that'd be horrible.
Wait. Horrible good or horrible bad?
I'm thinking along the lines of just seeing all the people trying to take him down, which would make it just like this epic boss battle from like a video game.
Yeah, so you mean it'd be great, right?
Yeah.
I would actually like to see Judge Dredd German spoken, because of... I tell you what, I was watching Doctor Who, and there was a scene where the Daleks were talking in German, and it was fucking hilarious. Go and look up the Daleks speaking German, because it's fucking funny.
But I want to see a Nazi Judge Dredd. That needs to somebody on Stormfront must have created this. 5.
I think you're giving the people of Stormfront a few too many IQ points there.
Some of them are actually pretty smart. I mean, Bound for Glory, they don't seem like morons. They just have idiotic
views.
5, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're keeping score on the bingo cards at home, that's 5 cigarettes.
The Pennsylvania police officer has been fired after a Snapchat image of her dressed in full uniform and captioned with a racial slur came to the attention of her bosses. The selfie, reportedly taken months ago, depicts an officer identified as Melissa M. Adamson, wearing aviator. Yeah. Wearing aviator glasses and the uniform of her then employer, Pitcairn Police Department. It was uploaded with the popular image messaging app Snapchat with the caption that read, "I'm the law today, nigga." With an A.
Not only a racist female Judge Dredd, okay.
Officer Adamson has now been relieved of her duties in McKeesport following the scandal. She resigned from a similar part-time officer post in Versailles or Versailles, depending upon which part of PA you're from.
It's Versailles. Anything else is wrong, okay? It's like these morons in Texas that say San Jacinto. No, it's San Jacinto. To say it the other way is American, i.e. white and wrong. Anyway, sorry. Americans really like butchering other languages, don't they?
Yes, but I know that they keep saying Versailles, North Versailles, and shit like that. It's like, no, it's Versailles.
Yeah, I know.
This is the news saying it.
Yeah, people who, as George Carlin once said, the alternative is to be wrong.
But do they not learn about the Treaty of Versailles in school.
Yeah, they do, but see, the thing is,
Then how do they not know that word is Versailles?
Because Americans, it's different. Well, yeah, it's Versailles in French, but in America, it's Versailles because we ain't fucking French. Yeah, that's Pennsylvania.
We're talking that, okay, I think this is West Virginia or Virginia, one of the two. I keep forgetting the two mixed up myself because I'm a damn American. But in one of them, there's a county called Monongalia County. This is because the guy that drew up the charter for the county filed it wanting to name it Monongahela, but was too drunk to spell it correctly. So it came out as Monongahela. This is real.
Is this real?
This is real. This is 100% true history. He was just too drunk to get it right, so it came back as Monongalia.
Hang on, I'm gonna look this up. I'm not saying I don't believe you, but I think it'd be fun to just.
Whenever I did my telesurvey,
it sounds like that sort of shit. Yeah, that sounds legitimate. I could believe that actually happening. The human race, that is the human race.
West Virginia. It's West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. And many people from the area that I called when I was doing my telesurvey job recounted the tale of how the guy was just too drunk to fucking spell it right. So that's why it's Monongalia instead of Monongahela.
It comes from a river, and it's a misspelling.
Yes. The Monongahela River. Which the guy was too drunk to get right.
Keep reading. I'll get back to you in a minute.
McKeesport Mayor Michael Cherepka publicly denounced the actions of the recently hired part-time police officer in a Facebook post on Tuesday. This post displays a degree of conduct and character that is far different from what I would expect from an officer in this city. It is absolutely unacceptable. Without hesitation, my office and the police chief's office immediately concluded that this officer's actions will not be tolerated in the city of McKeesport. Her employment will be terminated. Good, we lost a piece of neo-yuppie filth.
You will be terminated.
Yeah. In an interview with Pittsburgh's Action 4 News, Adamson denied she was racist. I love my job. I love what I do. It's what I want to do for the rest of my life. But you can't do it being a sack of neo-yuppie filth. Sorry. This is exactly what these fucking idiots do on fucking Twitter and shit all the fucking time. Everyone knows that I don't have a racist bone in my body. I don't want this to affect how I do my job. I will say this in her defense, though. She said nigga instead of nigger. Tried using the term of endearment, but, it came off as racist.
Well, and like I said, it's one of those things that everyone else says it, and it's a common enough saying.
Mm-hmm. But the whole thing is you're a cop.
Yeah, but you're not even allowed to use the term niggardly. Niggardly, not niggardly, niggardly these days without somebody getting all fucking butthurt and you having to sit there and trying to explain to them that, no, just because it sounds like nigger doesn't make it a racial slur, you silly little porch monkey.
You can't fucking wear a fucking vest that says Niger on it during the Olympics anymore because people will think it's nigger.
I still love that one where you had Nigeria versus Germany during the Olympics, and they shortened it down to the first three letters of each.
I can't find anything about the too drunk on Wikipedia, but it does seem to check out.
Yes.
That is an awesome story.
Again,
I'm trying to spell things. I'm trying to
You know
spell.
what I think happened, right? I bet what it was is it was spelled correctly originally, yeah, and everyone was pronouncing it wrong, and somebody pointed this out to them, and they made up this whole story and then changed the spelling to not look stupid because they'd rather prefer.
Well, there's some places in Pennsylvania where if you pronounce it wrong, you're pretty much known as a tourist. I can't remember what they are, but I know there's a couple where if you pronounce it wrong.
Well, like that whole entire Versailles thing. Yes, I know it's Versailles, but if I go out and say I'm going to go hit up North Versailles, they're going to be like, what? Huh? Most people around here, because everyone's used to calling it Versailles.
But if you say that around me, if you say you're going to hit up Versailles, I'm going to go.
Still not a patch on Welsh place names, though, is it?
Oh my God, no! I'm not even going to start with Welsh names. It sounds like freaking whale song.
As the picture alone does not constitute misconduct, it is symbolic speech and protected under First Amendment. However, it is the content of the text in the picture which is unacceptable. Yay.
Does she look like Neo Yuppie Filth?
Yes,
Okay.
she does. She looks like the type of trash that I would like to shit on. Taking pictures in the same style that my ex-girlfriend currently does.
Good. That's sad.
Yeah, if you've seen any of her posts recently.
Ugh. Yeah, well, there we go. Fall from grace. Well, not really grace, but it's all someone else's fault. Chaz. Let's blame Chaz.
Anyways, study says that people who like black coffee are more likely to be psychopaths.
I can drink black coffee. I mean, I prefer it with Splenda. I don't need milk. I do prefer it with Splenda. But I can drink black coffee. Maybe it's because the fucking strong taste. There's must kill.
Well,
Yes.
actually, it's that seems that psychopathy seems to come with the appreciation of these strong tastes.
I like it. Like I said, I prefer it with sweetener, but I can drink. I don't need milk or any of that shit.
Researchers at the University of Innsbruck in Austria studied 953 American adults and found that those who preferred more bitter tastes in food scored higher in a series of personality questionnaires that measured qualities like narcissism, aggression, and sadism, the tendency to enjoy inflicting pain on others.
I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's a plane flying right now. I think it's a helicopter. That was weird.
They're coming for you, some black helicopters.
A little background ambiance for the show.
Yeah. The study
I don't know if this is all true because I like a lot of sweet foods as well.
The study, which will be published in the journal Appetite, also includes that participants who reported a liking of other bitter foods like radishes, celery, beer, and tonic.
I don't like radishes or celery. I never had tonic, but give me some beer.
Yes, beer.
Beer. This show is fueled by Monster and beer.
So if you like beer, you're also more likely to exhibit psychopathic traits.
Well, actually, not really light beer, the American kind, because it's not really bitter. That's just disgusting.
Piss water.
Yes, piss water.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they say in Canada, right, Jim? Drinking American beer is like making love in a canoe.
Why?
Fucking close to water.
Okay. Boring. I like just saying piss water.
Yes, but I don't care about you.
The present research has demonstrated that bitter taste preferences are associated with more pronounced malevolent personality traits, especially robustly with everyday sadism.
Like I said, I don't really like celery and radish, but I enjoy beer, So, everyday sadism. Knock on my door, Jim, and see what happens.
Yeah. Conversely, participants who preferred sweet foods like candies and cake tended to score higher on agreeableness. You mean clones?
I can debunk that right here. Okay, I can debunk it right here. I have the mother of all sweet teeth. I have sweet teeth. Okay, every one of my 32 teeth is freaking. I love sugar, and yet I'm sharpening my knife for whenever Jim comes because I understand his flesh has taken a lot of abuse, and it's going to take a very sharp knife to cut through that face.
Yes, it will.
See, I can debunk that. I can debunk the story right here.
In regards to health, a black cup of coffee may be the best kind. Those who don't add sugars and creams also don't consume added calories and fat. So
like
psychopaths are supposedly healthy. Okay, we get it. Guess you gotta be healthy for that stabbing arm to work.
Yeah, but Jim, we could debunk that right here. You've smoked 5 cigarettes so far. In the first hour of the show. Yeah. So, sorry, Austrians, but your logic is flawed.
She should have screamed. Man confesses to sexually assaulting and killing Christy Heron in 1993 cold case.
Okay. Oh yeah. See the cool thing about Swine Brothers is there's never a dearth of links. If we can't think of anything to do, we'll just go back to the archives. This is what I don't remember who posted this, but.
This is beautiful. Serial killer.
I think
we just got done talking about psychopaths, so let's talk about a psychopath.
I think we can generally say if it's politics, most likely it's Charles who posted this and in the link bin. If it's metal or absurd shit, it's usually me, and if it's really sadistic shit, it's usually Jim.
Yeah, I usually find the really sadistic shit.
I usually find the metal or absurd shit, and Chaz usually finds the political. That's obviously a broad. But anyway, so this, I'm guessing.
Because I like just to have a collection of morbid shit around me at all times.
Yes, and you have the cool groups that you won't invite me to. Anyway.
Yeah, well, that's because I post a bunch of pictures. It's gonna do you no good.
Yeah, I'm in this cool group, and all I see is pictures.
Yeah, so there are pictures that you can't see, but I could describe them to you. This is the one where they're gutting him with a knife. Slowly.
Yes, that's why Scott, like whenever we did the gore things, and Scott and I on the YouTube thing. Anyway, so let's read about a psychopath.
Marianne Russworm had a gut feeling that her 15-year-old daughter was taken when she disappeared more than 23 years ago on her way to school. Russworm's hunch was confirmed.
See what actually happened? She joined ISIS in 1993. She joined ISIS before it was even ISIS.
Anyways, Russworm's hunch was confirmed Tuesday when Anthony Edward Ringel, 47, pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in the death of Christine Heron, whose body was never found. The OPP, who have had Ringel in their sights for 12 years, used undercover officers who moved into a trailer park where he was living to elicit a confession in one of southwestern Ontario's highest-profile cold cases.
Canada?
Hey.
So he lives in a trailer park, and he's 47. Does he look like I'm picturing?
Balding in a suit. He looks like a used car salesman.
Oh, yeah, so exactly how I'm picturing then.
Okay.
Basically, not someone you really want. Used car salesmen are all crooks.
Heron disappeared May 18th, 1993, while walking to John Deifner Secondary School in Hanover, where she was a grade 9 student. Her mother told the Free Press in 1997, "I feel like she's been taken. I thought that right from the start, according to an agreed statement of facts read in court Tuesday by Crown Attorney Robert something or other. OPP investigators recorded detailed confessions by Ringel in the winter of 2013. Ringel told undercover officers he was feeling sexually frustrated and opportunity knocked when he saw Heron walking through her favorite park in Hanover on her way to school, Flummerfelt said. Ringel forced her by the arm through a wooded area to a remote spot in the Saguene River. He pushed her into the fast current. She went under and was carried downstream, but Ringel caught up with her on the other side. Ringel restrained her with her arms trapped behind her jacket and had sex with her over her protests that it hurt. What a wonderful human being. I wonder if do they have the death penalty there?
Nope.
I wish. God
Nope.
damn it.
No, we're the only country in that part of the world that has the death penalty.
God damn it.
Hey, I don't want the state killing people. I want to kill people, but the state doesn't want to kill. I don't want the state killing people.
This is why I should be the state. That way I can kill people. People like this guy. He told undercover police that Heron should have screamed because there were others in the park, Flummerfelt said, saying a 14-year-old should know better. If they're in fear of their life, they're going to be begging to live. Oh, man.
I can't blame myself for anything. It's all someone else's fault.
And it's all her fault. She should have screamed, That way I would have stopped. And probably killed her on the spot instead of waiting till I was done with my happy ending. Fucker. Ringel said that the sexual assault wasn't all his fault. What a fucking moron!
Have you guys read the Elliot Rodger manifesto? The guy in 2014 who killed some people in California, and his whole thing was basically, it's the girl's fault for not dating me. That now I have to kill. Yeah, that reminds me of this guy.
God. You might want to mute yourself, Chaz. I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah,
I'm not doing anything.
Why does your mic just suddenly go really loud and distorted?
I don't know.
It's all your fault.
Anyways, he told the officer, if you were female, wouldn't you struggle? She protested, even according to the account given by this guy. So that does suggest struggle, especially since he had to fucking throw her in a river to tender her up before he could fucking throw her down. Trying to assume zero guilt.
Zero guilt for something that I don't even
It is
get.
100% his fault.
I know it's not funny, but it's...
The mentality is what's fucking mind-boggling, because we see this all the time online of people saying it's not my fault, it's not my fault, it's always something else, some other construct's fault. And here's a horrible offense where the guy's saying, it's not my fault, it's this horrible construct's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Ringel told the undercover officer, even though she said she wouldn't tell anyone, it doesn't always work out that way. So I decided she's got to be done. So, fuck. She's there pleading for her life, saying she's not going to tell anyone.
Yeah,
you're saying that she should have fucking yelled to get attention.
I'm not saying in his defense, but if you had just like beat someone up and they said they weren't going to tell anyone, you're not going to believe them.
No.
Because of course the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go to the police. So you have to snap their neck, and that's. But they never found the bodies. So I didn't do anything, Jim.
Because they both lived in the same town, and she could point them out. He said he didn't care. He didn't know her name. Ringgold suffocated Heron face down in the water and mud while she struggled. he left her body on the riverbank and fled. But fearing Heron's
Have a
body,
corpse song.
yeah, he left her body on the riverbank and fled. But fearing Heron's body would be discovered, he returned the next day and covered it with sticks and logs and debris to hide it. Heron's body was never found. A forensic expert said the body likely decomposed until only the bones were left by winter. The bones were likely swept away when the Sanguine River flooded in the spring. Wearing a large blue suit jacket, Ringgold listened with a pained expression as the facts were read. His long receded brown hair was draped over his left shoulder.
That's a lovely story for you.
Yeah, fuck.
Some depression for you on this day.
I'm stuck in the past, wondering if there was something I could have done to prevent it. I miss her so very much. That's what her mother said, though.
Yeah, I know, but maybe like accompany her to school every now and then, make sure she's safe.
Honestly, I don't see how that. I mean, ninth grade. That's whenever I was fucking walking to school.
Yeah,
and
but
shit and,
it's still if you live in a bad neighborhood or whatever, and you know.
I don't even think this was a bad neighborhood. I just think there was a fucking sicko there.
No, well, I'm not saying hover, but at least like I don't know. Maybe tell her that. So if you see a guy in a park.
Yeah, I don't trust him.
Well, yeah, but Jim, in ninth grade, you were already selling drugs to puppies or whatever.
Fuck.
Puppies on drugs, new thing.
He was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 12 years. Less about 5 years presence in custody.
I'm still stuck at puppies on drugs.
So, yay. I actually fucking gotta say, this is interesting. Just seeing how much they try to paint it as somebody else's fault all the time.
Well, yeah, well, come on, if you were caught as a serial killer, what would you say? Would you say, yeah, I did it? Or would you say, I mean, I've read interviews with serial killers where they have a justification and excuse for everything. What about this guy? I couldn't have done it because this. What about this guy? I could have done it because of this.
Well, there's a difference between I couldn't have done it and fucking it's all her fault. Just look at her. She was just like, that. Fuck.
She was walking. She shouldn't have walked.
Yeah, she shouldn't have walked. What the fuck? So, onwards.
Let's move on from that, too.
Yes. McDonald's worker Googled how to kill someone and get away with it.
This is one I found.
Mm-hmm. David Russell, 25, met Maricara Benedicto, 19, online in 2009 over their mutual love of heavy metal. Miss Benedicto flew to the UK from California to meet Russell, but the night before she arrived, he searched for hand-to-hand contact ways to kill someone with your hands. How to kill someone and get away with it. The best knife to kill someone, and how to knock someone unconscious.
And of course, it's all heavy metal's fault.
God, what kind of heavy metal is this guy listening to? If he has to actually look this shit up.
Probably metalcore.
Yeah, he looks like a
metal
bag.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he does. Just the fucking hair and everything's all like... He's got this short hair where he's trying for a poof in the middle, like bed hair, but like it fails. And he's wearing a Nike t-shirt in a photo.
Anyone who wears a Nike okay, seriously, if you like death and black metal and you wear Nike t-shirts, burn your t-shirt.
Well, I don't know. If you look at a lot of Nike's record in their sweatshops. I think you could argue that they're quite metal.
Yes, there we
What's
go.
that famous one? I think Ricky Gervais talks about it. There was one of the factory foremen was accused of inappropriately grabbing one of the seamstress workers, and his excuse was he was trying to wake her up.
I was trying to wake her up by grabbing her in the pussy. Okay. Yay.
666. Well, yeah, it's the old black metal thing. I only like things that are extreme. So yeah, Nike uses sweatshop children of 3 years old to make their clothes. That way they're extreme, and we should use them.
God, fucking such poser mentality.
No, well, that was the black metal mentality. That basically, we don't believe in fun. So drugs kill people. So they're not fun. So we're pro drugs. That's a great mentality.
Yeah, prosecutor Christopher Donnellan told the court that Russell called himself Ollie Sykes, the name of the frontman of a band, Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh, there we go. There we fucking go. Bring Me the Horizon are a metalcore band.
It makes me want to vomit.
No. Here's how metalcore. You know how some metalcore bands are actually on Metal Archives because they're at least metal enough.
They're not.
Hang on. I'll just do a little search right here. I'll do a little search right here. Go into Metal Archives. Let's see what comes up when I type in Bring Me the. Let's see what comes up. Nothing. Jack shit. So yes, they're not even metal enough to be a Metal Archives. Which some bands are, like As They Lay Dying and All Shall Perish. They're actually, at least in some way, metal.
So these are just pure rockers. And they're calling it metal. Fuckers.
Screamo.
It's Screamo. Oh, God.
Yeah, well, no, that's what metalcore is. It's basically Screamo with some heavy guitars.
I want to fucking just shit on the people that wrote this article and kill this guy for his taste in music alone.
Yes, their genres are alternative metal, metalcore, alternative rock, post-hardcore. Yeah, that basically. So that's
they're basically wuss music. Okay.
Yes, Will Smith. Actually, I think Mason likes them.
Oh, that says it enough.
Yep. So, basically, the point I was trying to make is this guy's not a metalhead.
Mm-hmm. Miss Benedicto called herself Ruby Townsend, Sykes' girlfriend at the time. No,
so she's not a metalhead either.
No, neither are. He lured her to Woodland, saying he had a present for her, told her to put her head back and hold out her palms, then slit her throat with a bread knife.
That's really the best you got.
When she pulled away,
the general kitchen knife or a chef's knife. I mean, if you're just going to go for what you've got laying about, I mean, a fucking bread knife.
By the way, crows have apparently congregated outside my window.
Good. When she pulled away, obviously you're using a fucking bread knife. And you probably don't even know which end of that to use to actually be lethal.
That's not going to work, is it? Although I must say, Vikernes finished Euronymous off with basically a boot knife. Basically, rather than trying to put the blade in, he basically took the the little point on it and just basically rammed it through his skull.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but bread knives typically don't really have that much of a point. The curve goes the wrong fucking way to really actually do that. The only way a bread knife really comes into its own is as a sort of slashing. I mean, it'd be great for hacking up parts of the body.
Yeah, you can.
Hacking through the flesh, because it would be a bit like a fucking saw, really.
Yeah, you have to use it as a sub. The knife Vikernes had, he even said he couldn't chop a tomato. He would have to crush it. The only thing he could really do is, like I said, jam the point into somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, a bread knife. That's pathetic.
I mean, it's
What?
America. I'm sure
Wait,
knives aren't hard to
wait,
buy.
Pat, finish the.
No, she flew to the UK. So this was in the UK.
Yeah, where
She came from America, but the guy doing this was in the UK, and that's where she went
You
for
can still
this.
get hold of knives in the UK. You can just
Yeah,
go and
which
buy a
is
448
actually
like carbon steel knife.
yeah, which is actually really
£4
depressing because I thought the UK was supposed to be like the #1 country of there are signs that say don't stab emergency workers or whatever. So I thought anyway, Jim, continue with your.
When she pulled away, Russell throttled her and screamed, "Why won't you die? You ruined my life forever." How?
That's
She came to fucking visit you.
That's a typical metalcore thing.
What the fuck is wrong with these fucking idiots? This is why metalcore should die.
Yes. At least if you're gonna kill someone, make it.
He then ran away, and Miss Benedicto staggered to a nearby house for help. Maybe she just walked casually there because fucking guy doesn't. God!
I wouldn't be surprised if she was at least bleeding, and the shock must have been.
Yeah, shock I can understand.
I'm just.
There's a remote possibility of some blood, but God, this is the type of person that just needs to be anally raped while he's in prison, just so he gains some balls.
I mean, not even cool metalcore, or not even at least metalcore, just lame ass alternative rock.
Yeah, fuck
And
these people.
You claim that's metal.
Why won't you die? You've ruined my life forever. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. God. Russell was found collapsed from a suspected drug overdose at his home by armed police. He was found guilty on October 2011, but the conviction was quashed and he faced retrial. He was found guilty again yesterday and will be sentenced in November. God.
He should be, for being himself, he should be sentenced. I mean, forget the murder thing. For liking Bring Me the Horizon, he should be sentenced to at least something.
Yes, 10 years of anal rape by the biggest, meanest motherfucker in prison.
Who's not even gay.
Yeah, he's not even gay. He's just doing it for dominance.
Yeah, he actually doesn't derive any pleasure from it.
He just wants you to know your fucking place, and that's what the rectal bleeding's all about.
Yes, he's like, oh God, do I really? Whatever, fine.
God damn, people like this just need tortured slowly, painfully.
And I hope the viewers like that. We're not even talking about the fact that he tried to kill someone. It's all in how he did it in the music he listened to.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Oh, God.
That is great. That's tremendous. You're not even going to condemn it? No. Look, dude, I at least listen to 4 bands that have killed people in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So basically,
most of them through boredom.
No, some of them through bored. Oh, shut up. No, some of them band members were bored. You're right. So they killed people. So basically, if you're going to kill someone, don't be a metalcore pussy.
Yeah, apparently, because they have no concept of what the fuck is anything anywhere. Oh my God, you ruined my life. Why won't you die?
If I met a girl, I've met girls who like metal online, and I'm not saying they ruined my life. I'm going, what's your favorite Satanic War Master album? That one sucks. You're a poser. Just kidding.
Florida man high on meth cuts off genitals and feeds them to alligator.
I didn't even bother checking to see if this story is real, just because I really wanted it to be. I don't even know if it's real. You know what? It's real. Screw it.
I don't care if it is or not. This is just what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
We need a break from the emo wars.
Yes, we do. Metal versus false metal. By the way, really quick, death to false metal.
Yeah. A 52-year-old man from Florida, Lake County, is tonight in intensive care after he was seriously injured during what has been described by investigators as a 5-day binge on methamphetamine.
Whoa.
According to reports by local media, the victim, Mr. Frank Canfield, was found by his neighbors writing on the ground in pain outside his property. As his neighbors, I don't know what he was writing, but okay.
No, writhing. Writhing.
There's no H there.
Yeah, but still, it's supposed to be writhing on the ground.
I like writing better. I'm bleeding, so I'm gonna fucking write a book in blood on the grass.
Well, he's on meth. Maybe he will.
As his neighbors approached Mr. Canfield, they said that he was clutching his groin region, which seemed to be soaked in blood. I asked him what he'd done, commented one of the neighbors, who was not named in the article. He told me that he'd hurt himself badly and asked me to call for help. So he's the victim and the perpetrator on himself. Because I just got done saying he was the victim.
Yes. Well, he's a victim of his own
idiocy.
Yes.
If this is real, dear God, I hope it is.
It's real. Shut up.
Paramedics were soon on the scene, and Mr. Canfield was rushed to a nearby hospital where he remains in critical condition as a result of severe blood loss. Investigators unable to interview Mr. Canfield due to his injuries turned their attention to a 28-year-old woman who had been living at his property and is believed to be his girlfriend.
My ex-girlfriend, I think, after this.
According to the woman's account, the pair had spent the past few days leading up to the accident smoking crystal meth at Mr. Canfield's residence. The woman stated that on the day of the incident, Mr. Canfield smoked the couple's remaining supply of meth and began to act really weird. The investigators believe...
He's on meth.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to act like all normally.
He was acting extremely normal after smoking that much meth. Investigators believe that Mr. Canfield's overconsumption of the drug caused him to experience a psychotic event.
Really? What was your first clue?
As the woman explained, Mr. Canfield became violent and threatened her with a knife.
More knives.
Yay, but apparently a real knife. Before running into the backyard of the property, she followed him outside and saw he had removed his clothes. I was puzzled about what he was going to do next, she told investigators.
So he's just threatening her with the knife, and she's just casually watching. What's he gonna do next?
I had no idea that he would cut off his privates, the woman reports. Trying multiple times.
I'm sorry. Just read that one more time for you.
I had no idea that he would cut off his privates.
No shit. I mean, that's the last thing I'm gonna guess anyone's gonna. Let's see. What are they gonna do?
They just pulled a knife on me and ran outside. Are they going to try to stab something that they think's out here? Or are they gonna fucking try to run from police? What the? Oh my
no.
God! He's cutting off his cock.
Oh no! He's cutting his dick off.
I will say that there is a true story around here. This is 100% fact. That there was this guy who was fucking completely whacked out of his skull on meth and cut off his own cock because he wanted to suck it. And now he's known as the Dickless Wonder.
Penis because he wants to suck it. You Google that.
Yeah, it's a local tale. Remarkably, he seemed quite calm and began cutting, she said. I was the one screaming and begging him to stop. However, her pleas fell on deaf ears, and Mr. Canfield finished his gory task. Glory. As soon as he finished cutting, he jumped over the fence and ran away, she said, explaining that she decided to flee the property in case Mr. Canfield returned and attacked her. Investigators now know the cause of Mr. Canfield's gruesome injuries, but did not know what happened to his severed genitals. A team of searchers combined the area and CCTV footage from a number of properties that was collected.
Pennsylvania man says George Bush made him cut off his penis.
That's another story, but okay.
I'm sorry.
Which ultimately revealed a shocking twist. In the footage, we can see Mr. Canfield alongside the canal that runs behind his property. In his hand, he's holding the genitals, we believe. At this point, he spots an alligator on the opposite side of the canal, and he flings the genitals in that direction.
He's just holding his genitals that he just cut off. Just here. Well, now
George Bush told me to cut off my cock. Okay.
I guess he's gonna be a woman now.
Yeah. In the video,
he's just holding his dick and also here, alligator.
In the video, which investigators have refused to release to media.
Oh, come on, you've got to release it.
The gator is alleged to quickly pounce on Mr. Canfield's genitals and consume them.
You've got to release it.
There's no chance whatsoever of recovering them, said an investigator.
No
Mr.
shit.
Canfield, in addition to a long recovery ahead, also faces drug-related charges. Given what has happened in this case, we believe that there is a slim chance of him abusing meth in the future, commented one investigator.
I would be surprised if he didn't abuse meth in the future, especially now.
He has more of a reason to do meth.
Yeah, I was just going to say now.
I am dickless. I gotta do meth.
All
I got left in my life.
Yeah, I don't think his girlfriend's going to come back to him. Let's put it that way. What are they going to do? Are they going to make like a fake dick for him?
I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do.
Hey, it's an interesting.
I honestly hope it is real.
It's an interesting question. Okay.
Oh God.
And please share the video just for our sick curiosity.
Yes. Oh God.
Hey, Chaz,
Yeah.
would you ever do something like that
What? Cut off my own genitals?
and then feed them to an alligator?
Don't really have much access to alligators, and certainly wouldn't like to cut my Johnson off.
They're not fun. Yeah, well, yeah. Are there alligators in Britain, or I don't know if there are alligators in Britain.
I don't know. I don't think so, but maybe. Who
Chaz,
knows?
stop talking to us.
They're probably in a zoo. They were released, like the kitties.
Release the kitties.
Anyways, that's all I got for today.
Okay, we've stopped the count at 6.
Make it 7.
Make it 7?
Yeah, because I'm grabbing another one.
Okay.
Waiting for the noise.
We're waiting for the noise here.
I swear,
we
he says
go.
it's his
That's
cigarette
7.
machine.
That's
He
7.
says it's his cigarette machine. I swear, he just sits and takes Polaroid selfies. Like, next to Jim, right? Jim is sat in an armchair, just smoking a big fucking Cuban cigar. And next to him is a Polaroid camera and a shoebox containing loads of Polaroids. And he just sits there and every now and again takes a picture of himself and then puts the photograph in the little shoebox.
I don't think he can afford Cuban cigars.
I thought you were going to say he can't afford a shoebox.
This has been the Swine
I was
Brothers
going
Show.
to start him an Indiegogo campaign to buy him a shoebox.
Hey, maybe if we get enough money, we can get him a camera too. Okay. This has been the Swine Brothers Show, episode 118 for whatever the hell it is of October 2025. You can email us at ellinthemood@gmail.com or the new email, cosmicgodsdie@gmail.com. Facebook is, as always, Swine Brothers. Twitter is SwineBros666. And other links are on the videos, as you can see. For Chaz, for Jim's girlfriend, Dana Mund, or whatever. And for the Jim, please donate to get him a shoebox.
Time to eat the diaper rash cream.
I have been Ellie Lindemood. I haven't said bye yet. I have been Ellie Lindemood. We'll see you Friday.
And sodomy.
Chaz, you're not going to say kill Whitey.
No, I've decided to stop doing that. I need to come up with a better catchphrase. I thought Kill Whitey was just a bit too easy.
Smoke crack and worship Satan.